After a decade-long hiatus, Batman is finally back in action as Gotham grapples with a new enemy, and the once celebrated prodigal son makes a comeback. Race cars zoom forward on a track, the drivers vying for the lead position. A man with a gray mustache drives with half of his face covered in a jet black helmet. He floors the accelerator. The black car maneuvers through its competitors. It is now leading the race. The driver still has his foot on the pedal. He wants to go faster. A radio cackles to life. It is a woman's voice. Bruce is pushing the car to its limits. She warns him against it, but he won't listen. He never has. Bruce Wayne keeps struggling with the machine to attain higher and higher speeds, and eventually the car gives up. The controls malfunction, and Bruce grapples as he tries to maintain the course of the vehicle, but it won't follow his instructions. The car goes out of control. As the others pass by it, the black automobile performs a few aerial flips before crashing and bursting into flames. The racetrack crew rushes onto the scene. The commentators are not sure if he made it out alive. As the dust settles, an older Bruce Wayne emerges from the ruins of his race car. He has survived another day. Later that night, he sees Commissioner Gordon for drinks. Gordon is 70 now. He is retiring in a week. But circumstances are less than favorable. Crime is at an all-time high in Gotham, and there is a new group terrorizing the city, the mutants. Their attacks are brash, unprovoked, and unimaginably violent. They have singled out Gordon as their prime adversary, and have been issuing death threats for him. But in spite of it all, Bruce is conspicuously missing from action. In fact, it has been a decade since the last sighting of Batman. Bruce retired his alter ego after his protege Jason passed away. The former vigilante is now a full-time eccentric billionaire. But he is visibly restless. Now in his 50s, Wayne is plagued by his old nightmares. He sees himself as a child, playing as his parents watch on, and then suddenly he is falling down a dark hole. In the subterranean cave, there are two eyes prying on him, eyes that glow in the dark. They grow larger and larger as it approaches him, and then it swoops down on him, a screeching bat. He is walking into the Batcave. His vigilante lair now lies dark and unused. Bruce examines his hub, and one of the exhibits catches his eye. Jason's costume lies in a glass display. It reminds Bruce of his vow, never again. At Arkham Asylum, it is a regular day with the inmates, or rather as regular as it can get given the inmates it houses. The Joker is a shadow of his former self. Laying still in his chair, he is spoon-fed by the attendants. They marvel at his immobility. He does not seem to sweat, one of them points out, but he is very much alive. In another chamber, it is a big day for another of Batman's foes. Harvey Dent has finally been through all the surgeries his face required. The doctor has done his best job in reconstructing Dent's face. As the bandages start coming off, the extent of the correction is clear. Harvey Dent is not Two-Face anymore. His skin is even-toned all over his face. He is good to go. Back in his world, Bruce is agitated. He knows crime is on the rise, the city is suffering. Deep down he knows what he wants to do, but he has sworn against it. He cannot return to the life of a vigilante. He is not exactly young anymore, but his past won't let him rest. He is haunted by it. Murders in the subway are at an all-time high. Children are being kidnapped and mutilated. This is not about the ransom anymore. This is madness. He needs to answer his soul's call. He is Batman and he must rise to the occasion. It is a rainy night. The incessant downpour has drenched the city. As people hurry to get to shelters, the predators are out, waiting in dark corners. A middle-aged woman is carrying groceries. The rain is showing no signs of stopping anytime soon. She hurries along the sidewalk. But wait, there is someone in the side street calling out to her. And before she knows what is happening, an arm shoots out from the darkness. It nabs her and drags her into the alley. This is it. It is one of the mutants. She is the next victim of their unreasonable violence. But wait, there is someone else. Blending perfectly into the darkness, he has come to save her. The motion is swift and smooth, just like in the old days. The act ends as quickly as it starts. The woman feels the pressure on her neck released. She stares at a dark, empty alley. Her rescuer is gone. She did not even see him. Two girls are sprinting across the road. They need shelter. The arcade is right in front of them. The young ones walk into it. They should be scared. This is where the mutants station themselves. But Carrie refuses to pay attention to her friend's concerns. Short-haired and wearing dark-framed glasses, she is a thorough rationalist. But there is something creepy in the arcade. It is deserted. The lights are glitching, and then all of a sudden the lights go off at once. It is pitch dark. There are footsteps, many of them. All seem to be approaching them. The girls are scared. They stay close to each other. The mutants soon come into full view. With their heads devoid of a single strand of hair and a futuristic glass on their eyes, they look rather unsettling. Adding to the uneasiness is their brash attire, strange lingo, and the fact that one of them is actually brandishing a knife. They are about to cut them into pieces. There is nowhere to run, and right then there is a thud. The mutants are alert of another presence, but they have no idea what or rather who they are up against. It is Batman. He is back. He may be bigger and older, but the foot soldiers are no match for the hero. He tackles them easily. Carrie marvels at her guardian. There is something about him. The police are chasing a car. The robbers are escaping in it. They have just looted the Gotham City Trust. There was another car in their sight, but it just took a sudden turn. They lost it. The officer driving the car is maneuvering it the best he can. It is not easy chasing a rogue car in Gotham's traffic. Another officer is sitting next to him. He looks rather young. Wait, he has spotted something. There is a strange entity over their heads. The senior officer cannot take his eyes off the road. The chase is getting intense. There it is again. The driving officer finally sees what the newbie is talking about. A black-capped man jumps onto the car they are chasing. The officer seems shockingly pleased at this. He knows what is going on. The show is about to begin. The robbers understand they are in trouble. They crash out of the road and make their way to a decrepit building. The police arrive too, but they know better than to enter. There is his prey now. The vigilante follows the robbers into the building. The bullets raining on him leave no mark. He makes it look like child's play, but some things are different. He is not as agile as he used to be, not as fast either, but that does not stop him. Once the main guy is on the floor with a broken femur, something catches his eye. It is a coin, Harvey's coin. The only peculiarity is that now it is scratched on both sides. Something is up. He asks for Gordon and is gone in the blink of an eye. The old days are back. Initially, there is confusion. People do not know what they saw. Some claim to have been saved by a monster, while others believe it was a 12-feet man dressed like Dracula. But once the dust settles, the news of Batman's return makes waves. The resurgence of the vigilante polarizes society. Some welcome him back as a hero finally reclaiming the city, while others flag gross human rights violations by an illegal vigilante. But it is not really worth his time. Bruce has other plans. The robber he caught the other night had no loot on him. With no substantial proof against him, the police have to let him go. That is not much of a deal as well. He knows how to make people talk. When the newly freed goon limped into his apartment, a masked man was waiting for him already. It was not hard to make him talk. Harvey is planning something big. He has lost to his demons. Gordon has a whiff about it too. It seems Harvey is now covering his full face in bandages and scratching both sides of his coin. They both know what that means. District Attorney Harvey Dent is lost forever, and now he has stolen 2 helicopters and is coming for the Gotham Life building. He needs to be stopped. The mutants can be dealt with later. Batman waits on a dark ledge as 2 helicopters make their way to the Gotham Life building. The men come out on a tower and fix the bomb strategically while Harvey hacks into the TV signals to send out a televised message. His face is wrapped completely in bandages with only a thin slit left for the eyes. He is planning to blow up both towers. The only way to stop this is to pay him $22 million within the next 22 minutes. As the message ends, panic spreads throughout the city. But Batman is already there. He tackles Harvey's subordinates and manages to freeze a bomb. Harvey knows his end is near. He tries to escape but can't. Batman has him, and that is when it dawns on him. Harvey Dent staged this attack. In reality, he wants to die. He is weak and cannot fight anymore. As a defeated Dent confesses this to Bruce, the helicopter he was leaving bursts into flames over Gotham. It is now time for the mutants. The group is back to its old ways. It has now kidnapped the infant heir to one of the richest families in Gotham. Batman swings into action. The skirmish that follows leads him right into the lair of one of the key operatives. The arsenal stored in it is impressive. It is now the work of the greatest detective to track the supplier. And so he does. He is an old army general on the verge of retiring. Frustrated with the system, he decided to supply ammunition to a violent gang. A weakened man living in stressed circumstances. Easy picking for Batman. But the episode has wider implications. The Bat is now cemented as the foe of the mutants and neither of the sides plan on letting it go. Carrie has found her calling. She is now out on the streets as a self-styled Robin, beating crime in her own small way. And one night, things speed up rather suddenly. Carrie overhears some mutants talk about a mandatory meeting at the dump. Their leader is to be there. She makes her way to the dump only to realize she is not the only one to have caught a whiff. The Batmobile makes quite an entrance, scattering the unorganized mutant crowd. The ammunition fired at it bounced off like pebbles. Instead, the Batmobile seems to work wonders in taming the crowd. And finally, it is just the 2 of them left, Batman and the leader. Carrie watches as the 2 engage in hand-to-hand combat. Batman deals in some great blows, but he is older now, and his adversary is a savage with fangs for teeth. The fight is ruthless and draining. Batman is tossed and beaten. There is no way he is surviving this. The leader brings out a metal club. He is trying to bludgeon the vigilante to death. There is no stopping him, and that is where Carrie dives in. Displaying a streak of unimaginable courage, she plunges into the fight dangling from the mutant's shoulders. She claws at his eyes, giving the injured Batman enough time to disarm him. At the Batcave, Bruce is in his element. He is badly beaten, but he is alive. Carrie brought him back. He is pleased with her. The mutants have been rounded up and are in prison. A lot of them are still on the streets. With their leader behind bars, this is the ideal time to strike. But they are let down. The mayor decides against Batman and Gordon's partnership. The next officer to replace Gordon as commissioner has a staunch stance against Batman, and the mayor himself will hold peace talks with the mutant leader. The plan obviously backfires. The mayor goes into the leader's cell. He does not come back alive. The mutants declare a state of war with Gotham. They threaten to raze the city to the ground. The authorities are rendered helpless as they wait with bated breath. Gordon and Bruce know that time is running out. Gordon has a foot out of the office already. They need to act fast, and hence the plan comes into action. Carrie rounds up the mutants from the streets. She blends into them to spread the news that there is another mandatory meeting. Caught off guard, thousands of mutants come together at the pipe. Gordon, on the other hand, leaves the leader's cell door unlocked. And proving them right, he follows the only path available to him like a hamster in a maze, and emerges at the spot where his army has assembled already. It is now Batman's turn to take the plan forward. The only way to disband this inhuman militia is to humiliate and defeat their leader, and that is what he does. Batman may be old and slow now, but in thigh-deep mud, everyone is jeopardized. He uses this to his advantage, and beats the leader in his own game. With the leader gone and Gordon out of office, Bruce is now alone in his mission to fight for Gotham. He also has to deal with the mutants that got away as well as the new commissioner, who is sure to be uncooperative. But at least he is back in action, and has found a new Robin in Carrie. And while things seem to be looking up for Bruce, an inmate in Arkham is slowly emerging from his state of amnesia. He hears the vigilante is back in action. Batman's arch-nemesis lets out his notorious cackle in the psychic ward.